Has not been granted since the welfare to work requirements became law in 1996, and some lawmakers concerned if such waivers are approved, it could result in more government dependence. Now, Doug McElway is looking into that live in Washington. Doug, good morning.
Morning to you, Bill. You know, the question of why this work requirement changed in the first place is something that the House Ways and Means Committee wants answered. Senator Orrin, one of today's first witnesses, wants it answered too. He told the committee that he wrote the White House to ask that very question last year and has not yet received an answer. The work requirement has been part of welfare reform since reform was first passed by the Republican-controlled Congress during the Clinton administration. The reason for it was to end the cycle of dependency that often left generations of families dependent on welfare, and some say even encouraged single women to have more kids simply to receive more benefits. Hatch says this work requirement is vital.
Over the years, research has consistently demonstrated that a work-first approach, continuing an intense effort to engage the client in work-related activities to foster an attachment to work with a blended menu of work supports, education and training, has the greatest degree of success in getting clients off of welfare.
Hatch maintains that the Obama administration is willfully ignoring law. He wants Congress to pass bipartisan legislation to repeal waivers of the work requirement. The House has already did so in September. The Senate has yet to act, Bill.
Is there proof that welfare reform worked? The work requirement worked?
The work requirement was called the cornerstone of welfare reform by a lot of people. Welfare recipients dropped from 12.2 million to 4.5 million in the first decade after reform was passed in 1996. Caseloads dropped something like 54%. President Clinton wrote in a New York Times op-ed back then, quoting now, "At the time, I was widely criticized by liberals who thought that the work requirements too harsh and conservatives who thought the work incentives too generous, I should say. 60% of mothers who left welfare found work, far surpassing predictions of experts. Welfare rolls are now increasing again, but many attribute that, Bill, just to the simple unavailability of jobs."
Got it. Thanks, Doug. Doug McElway on that story out of Washington today.
Here's a